Right. Um, going into the first game, there's a lot of unknowns, right? Weren't exactly sure how much of what was shown last year was going to show this year and then what was going to be new. So tried to make sure we had a lot of things handled in the first half, and then got a feel for the game. There was a lot of third downs in there where we needed to do a better job getting off the field, and that starts with me. Um, but then we went to halftime, had a good feel for what was going on, and made the proper adjustments.
Hey, Bobby, what kind of challenge is Miami with their speed and also just pre-snap and much motion?
Yeah, I mean, all of it's a challenge. Everything about them is a challenge. Mike does a great job, and we've seen him quite a few times. So um, every time we prepare for him, we know what it's going to be. We know the challenge it's going to be, and um, we just have to make sure we're executing our plan going in.
The fact you have game plan from McDaniel a couple of times, does that make you more aware of that window dressing, so to speak?
Yeah. I think our guys. I mean, we played them a lot. So, I think that yes, having prepared for them helps us, but at the same time, there's new faces. There's new faces on our defense that we have to make sure are aware of the things that we already know. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to make sure we acclimate everybody to that. Obviously, it's a challenge because it's a short week, but that's no excuse. We'll make sure the guys are ready to go.
What got into Greg Rousseau yesterday? I'm kidding.
I hope he gets into whatever he got into on Thursday night. No, Greg's doing a great job. Works at it, very intentional, very determined. And I think what you saw was just his hard work paying off for him. Couldn't be happier for him. Got to keep it going.
When it comes to the one maybe knock on him, if there even was one, is consistency. How do you now seek to attain that level?
Yeah, it's preparation.
Yeah.
There's trained and there's untrained, and he's got to continue to train himself in the proper way. Not only prepare mentally, physically, but take care of his body and do the things that a pro does to make sure he can keep that that same pace that he's going at right now.
How do the two guys in the secondary, Lewis and Ja'Marcus Ingram, come in and perform well?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the things we pride ourselves here in Buffalo on is having guys that maybe didn't have a lot of reps or get thrust into a role to have them ready to go, and that's a credit to our coaching staff. But it's really, really cool. For me, it's a long time coming for the both of them. You see what type of football players they are every day, and the opportunities might not come, but they came on Sunday, and they took advantage of them. All you can do is take advantage of the opportunities you're given, and you got to be ready when those opportunities come. So they did a great job, and couldn't be happier for them.
Bobby, what's going through your mind? The score to make it 17-3. There's 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Pretty quiet in the stadium at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
Your defense to that point had not made a stop. What's going through your mind at that exact moment, and how do you kind of turn the page and turn it
Yeah.
around the way that you did?
Yeah, it's a challenge because in my mind you're like, oh boy, but no, I mean, I knew we'd settle in. I had that, that gut feeling that we'd settle in and that we just needed to get some adjustments made. The longevity of the drives and not getting off the field on third down really took time away, from the clock. So the time we get to adjust, if you extend a drive, there's less time to adjust and assess really what's going on. So we had that time. Our guys ended up getting a stop at, somewhere, or it was that 2 minute, and we went into halftime where they took a knee. And we went into halftime and we just told them, hey, here's what we're going to do, bang, bang, bang. And but what it comes down to is that, we talked about we had to get a takeaway. We talk about getting takeaways all the time. That's one of our that's one of the lifebloods of our program here, and that happened early with Greg, and I think that there was really a momentum shift there.
How important was it to not just get to the answers, but the answers actually worked? And how important is that, especially for a team, a group that hasn't been together for very long?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything. If you get a chance to try to get a mulligan in the second half and your answers aren't good, it's not good. You know what I mean? So, hopefully you're doing the right things, you're making the right adjustments, and you're seeing things clearly. And I think we had a chance at halftime to really get together and kind of see those things clearly and come up with a plan for the things that we had seen, and I think they had, the silver lining was they had enough plays to where we could kind of see the plan, a little bit. So, we just, and a credit to our guys, man. They took the adjustments and they ran with them, and the players are the ones that make it happen. So they believed in it and made it come to life.
How encouraged were you by Von Miller?
It was really cool to see Vaughn, back to being Vaughn, and he got that sack, and encouraged because a little bit more confidence for him, coming off of last year. Hopefully he'll do wonders for him.
How about for you personally? I know this whole thing isn't about you, but your first game calling the plays, I'm sure you've always kind of waited for that moment. Did you take a moment to kind of take a step back and reflect on that?
I think I said it. I was so lost in the process early. I think the biggest deal for me when I got to reflect was I had to calm myself down in pregame. I usually get pretty amped in pregame, but I'm like, just settle down, calm down, and just sat back and kind of watched the guys warm up, and it was like, here we go. So, but it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about me being a part of helping this organization win a Super Bowl and to help, young men reach their goals. That's what it's about for me, and the way to get to a Super Bowl is to win. So that's what we've got to do, and we got to do our part on defense.
How do you help this defense now without Taryn in the mix for a little bit?
Yeah, the thing that we do a good job of here, I think, is, and I said it before, is that the expectation doesn't change from player to player. There's no cop-outs. There's no, oh, this guy's down here. No, next guy up. Let's go. We got a standard here. We're going to meet the standard, and obviously we're going to miss Taryn. He's a heck of a player. But as you saw, we got some other pretty good football players on this team. So when Taryn comes back, we'll be ready to roll, and until that time, those guys got him.
Specifically talking about Cam Lewis, how important is he going to be for this team moving forward without Taryn in the mix?
Yeah, I think, anybody that's on the field for us, Maddie, not to devalue your question or anything like that, but anybody that's on the field is of value to us. Anybody that's on the bench is very valuable. Like, making sure our backups, as you saw in this game, were prepared to go is just as important as making sure the starter's ready to go. So we dive into that. We spend a lot of time with that, and for situations that happen in the game, because there was a lot of moving parts, and credit to the coaches for having those guys ready to go.
I guess then to switch it up, how valuable is it that Cam Lewis can, in a drop of a hat, jump in and
I mean, very valuable. Very valuable. That's a great question. I mean, the fact that we can roll him in and feel like we don't skip a beat is extremely valuable to us. And Cam's put a lot of time and effort into this thing, and hopefully he showed and can continue to show what type of player he is in a consistent way.
How big was that last play for Ingram, especially because earlier he gets called for a penalty that's not a penalty.
Yeah.
Arizona winds up being touchdown.
Yeah.
How big is that last play for him to execute?
I mean, two things. I think you talk about the next play mentality. Like, you can't get mentally hijacked. One play does not decide a game. You know what I mean? Even if the last play on that fourth down didn't go our way, that play didn't determine the game. There was so much before that that it happened throughout the game. That's what's beautiful about football, and you know, I think that for him specifically, I think it's just a lot of things for him kind of came to a head, and he said, you know, maybe this was his moment. You know, not for us. We the expectation is that we know Ja'Marcus can make that play, but for him, it's like all the work he's put in the practice squad, you know, all the time he's spent here in Buffalo in off seasons, all those type of things. That play right there, you know, for him, you know, might have been where it came to the point where here we go, it paid off. You know, so really cool to see. Really cool to see.